So it sounds like we have just in the morning when you've eaten one ration. Does anyone want to eat a ration?
Can someone spot me a ration?
So it's like you've got to do that thing in order to pick one, right? Yeah. So
Eat a ration, drink your fill, and gotten at least a few hours sleep.
Let's see. I'm gonna decrement my rations by one. Kalak, you need a ration? Is that what I'm hearing?
I need a ration. I got no rations.
I think Thorn is unwrapping his Lenbus bread or whatever, and he sees Kalak sitting over there looking hungry, holding their stomach, and he just like breaks off a chunk and holds it out.
I appreciate it. That's real lovely.
Yep.
So the soup last night was brewed up using my poultices and herbs. So anyone who has a debility and thinks that could be useful to clear that debility, if you want to do that option, you can. Because I am providing an appropriate resource.
I don't think it would clear Grumpy because it's disgusting.
Nourishing herb broth, Ash.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like tea is like a super degrumpifier.
Yeah, nice tea is, yes.
Fair.
Yeah, I feel like we're like tea is a broad category of things, and yeah, I feel like medicinal tea will heal a lot of things, but not a sour face.
I mean, to be fair, miserable is also characterized as being unwell, weary, uncomfortable, or in pain.
Oh yeah,
and those are all,
all right, then I'll allow it.
A medicinal tea can help with.
I will allow it then.
I am no longer miserable.
Yay!
Stephen, are you also gonna? Do you have a debility? I couldn't remember who had a debility.
I have no debilities. I'm only missing one hit point.
All right, cool. I'm gonna clear one of my debilities because I used my tea, and then I'm gonna drink my healing potion and clear my other debility.
I am choosing to take +1 forward.
Nice,
It's
excellent
a good choice. I am all healed. I am back to normal. The next morning, Kalak looks fine.
Good.
Except there is another streak of white in her hair.
Ooh.
Your hair looks great, by the way.
I like Sparrow so much.
I like
coloration.
the image of like everyone who drank the tea last night, like waking up with like a kind of like ammonia like sort of thing in there, like like in your like half in your nose, just like the oh god.
That is how I am feeling.
Well, a new day has dawned.
Let's make some actual progress today.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you like
I believe in us.
like do you have the same? Is that still where you're setting out for? For the
Yes.
bones?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
I think this morning Thorn is feeling like it's time to make some progress, and he just sets off, and he turns around at the edge of the clearing that we've camped at, and he says, "Y'all coming?"
Excellent.
I see. This is it's a thing.
Yeah.
This is the first campaign meme.
All right.
Yes.
This guy is so cool.
And I think, I think today, like rejuvenated and refreshed, Kalak is like right behind him at his left shoulder. Like as we journey, pointing out like things that we should avoid because they are clearly unstable to step on, and like being of help in that kind.
That
of
sounds
way.
like you're aiding with wisdom.
Will attract lightning.
Yeah, that might attract lightning. You should step on it. The rest of us shouldn't.
I whisper back to Sparrow. I like point at Kalak and whisper back to Sparrow. But like her too. She's like
So cool.
Is my favorite description of Kalak. Thank you.
I just love hearing the kids talking in the back seat.
That's right. Well, Mom and Dad.
All right, Thorn, you're rolling 2d6 plus 2.
Yes, I am.
Is it +2 or is it just +1?
Has plus
Well,
one
it took the
forward
+1 forward
breakfast.
from
yes.
resting. Yeah.
Yes.
Do we roll the aid first or after?
After.
All right, bump me up.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
That was not a good roll by me, but
But you get us there. Excellent.
You can bump me up if you want.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
get that 10 plus, Steven.
At 10 plus, we have made progress.
Yay, we're
Excellent.
halfway there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you make good progress for like the first march into the like mid-afternoon, and as you like move through these woods, you notice that the leaves here, the leaves closer to the like centers of the trees are often either like burnt or like turned to or like dried or missing. Closest to the trunk. And I think Kalak, if you're the one like spotting, I think you probably notice that there's often like a bit of like area around the stumps, the bases of the trunks that are not growing as much like underbrush as they would be.
They're scorched a little.
Yeah.
Do I see anything on these trees? Just, like hypothetically, just asking. That looks like handprint. I don't know. Just
That sounds like discerning realities.
yeah. I think like as Kalak travels, like once the first tree, she's just kind of like, it's a weird tree. Like whatever. There's a lot of weird trees in this fucking undergrowth. And then when she sees the second tree, she's like, And then when she sees the third tree, she's like, all right, this is a thing now. And is just going to start, like, observe it, like, as we pass. It's not like she stops and just, like, closely examines one tree. She's just taking, like, a survey of all of the trees of this kind that we pass as a whole.
Sounds good.
And that's what that discern realities looks like.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, very nice.
Ooh, nice.
Well done.
Good at role-playing games.
Quick, which three of those questions are the weirdest and least applicable? Let's. Who's really in control here? And
I think that's a totally valid question, Stephen. This whole world is haunted by ghosts. Also, I'd like to add, I think the problem with the arbitrary binary that chat has decided on is that, like, none of these questions are actually weird. If any of these questions were actually super weird and spooky and interesting, of course I would always ask those.
Right, yeah.
If one of them was like, what ghost is responsible for the way that this thing used to be or whatever, I'd be like, every time I'd pick that.
Who sings who sings the song of sadness for this person?
Right? Yeah, I would pick that every time. Every time that option. What happened here recently?
Someone with soot on their hands and knees fell. Like fell down and like stumbled through the undergrowth.
Cool. What should I be on the lookout for?
I think the nightingales haven't stopped.
The lightning gales.
The lightning gale.
Yeah, and I think Kalak does mention that. Like, Kalak kind of like cocks her head and like turns and looks at Bao, who I think she has determined is the person who would be most likely to know about strange, spooky nightingales that sing during the day.
I'm glad that everyone is putting such faith in me. It's excellent.
Yeah, and she like cocks her head and looks at Bao and is like, "Do you those nightingales last night? I mean, perhaps birds in the evening, but nightingale is not a daytime bird."
No, it's true. It was weird birds.
Yeah, and I think like she's not like actively passing it off to you, like that she is aware of. She's just like absently mentioning it, and then it's out of her head. And she's like, "No, but I'm paying attention to a thing." But like, this is me, the player, handing off to you, Emily, that fun thing to poke at.
Sure.
And then my third question: what here is useful or valuable to me? And Ash, I have a thought to offer if you are interested in it.
I'm interested.
Which is that, like, this sounds like the environment in which charcoal and other things that one can use to make fire would be like, but potentially found in.
I think you could actually... I think if you were to spend time digging like the loam beneath the roots, you would find like a specific, like weird, like magical alchemical like ingredient of like ionized earth or something like that.
What's that good for?
We can take it to the apothecary.
Yeah, like
we don't have one.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like you could use it maybe. I mean, like, here's the thing about Dungeon World: you can just tell me what you do, and I'll tell you what happens if you don't have a move.
That's true. I could use that shit for anything,
right? Like, yeah. It's like ionized earth, right? Like it's earth that has like potential energy, kind of like weirdly stored in it.
Could having that give us a bonus to our roll to try to establish an apothecary?
Probably yes.
It's like we brought back fancy apothecary stuff. Like now it's easier to like make one.
Yeah,
brought you some fancy dirt.
Fancy
dirt.
That seems very reasonable.
Yeah, I think Calic like stops, just like staring at the base of this tree.
The nightingales also stop.
I poke Calic.
And Calic just like looks at you in the way, you know, the way that like buffaloes regard those tiny little birds that perch on them and like eat the parasites. Like they don't look at them in an annoyed way or in a, like they're just like, you're kind of below my notice, but I'm going to indulge. Like that's the look of it, Calic. Like there's a little bit of that to the way that she looks at you, but like also she's a nice person, so it's not like it's not just that thing. And she's like,
so
yes.
I reach out and I just like I look at her for a minute, just like I just sort of make eye contact, you know, as though like if you talked to like a dog and the dog would just sort of keep looking at you like, oh, you're speaking at me.
This is how people do things.
Yeah, I give you a bit of that, and then I just sort of like seem to remember something, and I put a hand out and I kind of like rub it on like the arm of your shirt, and then like take it away and look at the shirt. Is there a mark there?
Probably most of the soot has left you now, but there's a little. You're a bit grubby.
A little bit. Okay. So I take my hand away and I'm like, oh, it's going away. I was making lots of it last night. Fawn too. And I like point at Fawn.
Hello.
You were making ash too. Have you stopped?
I look at like my footprints.
Like, Thorn, did you wash in the morning, like, or anything like that?
I mean, like, we're like traveling in the wilderness. I don't know that like personal hygiene is at the forefront of everybody's minds, but I probably like poured water into my hands and scrubbed my face.
When you did that, you realized that you had like a layer of soot all over you.
Oh yeah, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and I think Calic like narrows her eyes and is like,
Is it because we got exploded?
Yeah, I got lightning. You know, it makes sense.
Maybe the king got lightninged too.
The king and the lightning. There's a connection there somewhere.
Maybe, perhaps the king got lightning, but I wonder, it is starting to wear off, the two of you. Perhaps the king is part of what made that bridge. I'm curious here.
Could I spout lore trying to draw a connection between the nightingales, the lightning, and the king? Like, it feels like there's sort of some things are sort of happening in confluence, and maybe they are sparking Thorn's memories of old.
What does that look like, Thorn?
I mean, I guess it's just like, you know, we've gotten struck by lightning. There's ash left behind us. This Bone King, these nightingales. Like sometimes when you hear enough reminders of separate parts of the thing, they all sort of click.
Yeah,
I guess I'm trying to like see if I spout lore to see if there is a click or something.
Yeah, I think you could spout lore. I just was like wondering, do you like do the like Sherlock Holmes thing? Do you just like sit down and think for a minute? Do you like?
Yeah, I think it's just flash of inspiration for Thorn.
Yeah,
it's less that there's an active thing happening and more that the collection of things that are present here all of a sudden make a eureka moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as though he is struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Roll your spell law.
We will see.
I'm sorry, Emily.
I've got the -1 to the spout law. Oh yeah.
I like the idea that you just sort of go, yeah, that makes no sense at all.
Stephen, is
no
it
idea.
interesting to you to fail here, or would you like someone to assist you?
I mean, I guess like if there was a failure that meant that it was like I realized that yes, there is a connection, but also that there's an immediate impending threat is an interesting failure.
Or like, yes, there is a connection, but it's a bad one.
Right, it's like, wait, lightning, nightingale's king, oh shit, who's that shadowy figure right there? Like, you know, but I don't know, if there's no like interesting connection to be made, Ash, then maybe we could just like narratively roll in some aid.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'll throw it to the GM. What's the most interesting thing here? Is me failing the most interesting, or is me getting aid more interesting?
Getting an aid will bump you up to a 7 to 9, in which case I'll give you an interesting piece of information, and I'll probably use that as a way of like progressing us.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. Yeah. Kalak, while this nonsense, Kalak has stooped down and is digging. She wants to get that weird dirt.
Is that a kind of help? Are you helping? Or
no, I'm just getting weird. I'm just getting that weird dirt. Ash told me there was weird dirt I could get.
I'm happy to help. I have a way to potentially help.
How do you help?
Awesome.
So you mentioned that the birds just stopped making noise.
Yep.
I want to use my beady eyes, search around, and see if I can spot any evidence of a bird. I wanna hunt down a bird. Visually, at least, but potentially, I might try to spear a bird.
Okay.
You're using your Seeky Spires.
That's like helping with wisdom.
Okay. Ha!
That means that we're both in danger of this failure, right?
Yeah. So you see her nightingale. It is it glints in the night in the morning light. The beautiful blue of its metallic chest, and the glass of its eyes as it like finishes it finishes like sitting for a moment while a like a key turns on its back, and as you spot it, it sits back up again and sees that you've seen it and flies towards you at incredible speed on tin wings.
Ah, yes, a nightingale.
I am throwing a dagger at that.
Nightingale.
The nightingale that we always
Like
recognize.
KN Nightingale. Okay.
Throwing a dagger
Sure.
directly at that bird.
Go for it. Roll volley.
No one attacks my friends.
All right. Choose one.
Because it's daggers, you can't pick the reducing your ammo option, can you?
It would just mean that you don't have your dagger. Like, I take your dagger away.
I have to move to get to the shot, placing you in danger as described by the GM.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Because yeah, like just to establish, Luke. If you reduce your ammo by 1 on a thing that you're throwing, it means you've reduced it by 1. Like I
think I remember a bit in the text that explicitly.
Oh no, the rule text does specifically say that thing, doesn't it? Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. Anyway,
because daggers are an exception to the ammo thing. Like you have
that's
a
right.
specific number of them.
Yes. So yeah. Placing you in danger as described by the GM. I think what happens is that the dagger makes a metallic ricochet sound that ching, and the thing spirals towards you, spirals through the air like a fan, fan just spinning through the air as if out of control. And I think you're going to need to defy danger to actually avoid being hit by it yourself.
Okay.
But you do get to do your damage.
Yes, you do get to do your damage.
I want this to be really cool for you.
Oh yeah.
I want this to be really cool.
Yeah. So roll your damage for
Nice.
Oh, that is your damage. Oh yeah, yeah, cool. So it's horrible dead frozen metal body is spiraling towards you at high speed.
I'm going to
The sound of
defy
clockwork
danger.
seizing and little bells and pipes cracking.
Defying danger using my dexterity to jump out of the way. Oh,
Yeah, nice, awesome. Yeah, you are gonna. Yeah, I think you hit the ground and avoid getting hurt by it, but I think you crush its metallic body beneath you.
Question:
Yes.
Is it a creature?
No.
Oh,
Is it not?
I mean, okay. Actually, good question. Whoa.
This isn't Dungeons and Dragons.
Sorry, your rule says when a creature dies.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, when I... where's it gone? When you witness a creature die, you can bind its spirit to a special totem you carry. Roll plus wisdom.
That's deeply unethical. I just want to put that out.
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's known.
Necromancy, bad.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're an app person, that's fine then.
Yay.
well done.
Oh, sorry. The details are no longer applicable. That one is not
Yeah,
in there
that's
anymore.
okay. So, the GM will tell you a complication, such as right.
Spirit is unpredictable. There's an additional undesirable effect. Well, the spirit is restless and must be used within a certain amount of time.
There's an additional undesirable effect.
Cool. Nightingale. Additional undesirable effect.
For a moment, I really did think Ash was just going to be like, yeah, he's a real dick. That feels very much like a GM move Ash would make.
I mean, yeah. Called out.
Nightingale is just an asshole.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So
Yeah, so that's me running up to it and pulling one of these sort of carved bone totems out of a bag by my side, and then just getting real low and just tapping the thing with the totem a little bit, and breathing weirdly on it, and then I just sort of look at the totem and kind of go, and put it back in my bag.
yeah, it makes the sound like a toy piano.
I walk over to Sparrow and I hold out my hand.
How many times are we going to do this per day? And Spirit grabs on.
And I say, that was cool. And I look at it.
I appreciate your assistance. And then Sparrow walks over to Bow and goes, he said that I was cool.
I've already started walking.
Yeah. All right. Excellent.
At this point, Kalak is done scrabbling around in the dirt and just kind of turns around and looks at everyone, having just been completely oblivious to all of this, and is like, "Oh, we're moving on now."
I say Watch out, I think the birds want to murder us.
That's not a happy
just looks
thing.
at you like that. I mean, everything wants to murder us. Like, this is the undergrowth of horror. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, I think like when Sparrow's like, that's not a good thing, and then like Calix says like everything wants to murder us because this is the undergrowth of horror. I like kind of like gesture like, see, exactly. Well, like to Sparrow being like that. Yeah, everything wants to murder us. It's fine.
Bao, when it's the bad stuff, you make the opposite of the happy face. So you bring your
Life isn't
voice
bad.
down.
It's just a thing that happens.
You're right, I guess. Yeah, that's fair.
Guru is the way of things. Now and before.
Horror
Usually,
makes sure that it doesn't get too crowded. Because if it's crowded, then nobody has any fun.
I make this face when things are trying to kill us.
I like reach out and like put like sort of very, very slowly put my hands toward your face and then just like pat your face a couple of times.
Thank you.
I like pushed it up into like a smile.
Yeah, no, just pat.
And Kalak like tucks away. I think the 2 vials that she had the healing potions in, and filled with this strange iodized earth. And yeah, she just like tucks them away inside, and then like kind of does a little jog to join Thorn at the front of the party and start watching out again.
I'm cool.
So add ionized earth to your
Awesome. Does it have any weight?
whatever the weight of the potions was, if any.
Potions is none.
Yeah, then fine.
Give it the tag fragile. Is that reasonable?
Yes, that seems reasonable.
And like magic or something.
We know what it is from its current name.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see. We can work that out.
Ionized earth. Fragile. Quantity 2. Weight 0.
So who wants to? Do you want to make a camp, or do you want to continue on and march into the night?
Thorn sniffs the air. I smell something fishy. The scent of water having diverted its course. We are approaching our goal. We should press on.
Sounds like you're leading the party there.
Oh yeah.
I don't smell anything, but I trust him.
And Calic just like reaches down and like pats your shoulder and is like, okay.
Let's see how we go. 7.
Okay.
Does someone want to help in some way?
Yeah. I think like again, like Calic is playing the same like backup pair of eyes role, and like as the light, like once we get to the point where the light starts to fail, like gets like a torch out of from inside her robe and like lights it, and again like whispers the consecration to Nodomu, and so it has, instead of like golden light, this like beautiful white pale light.
Sounds good.
Protects and guides us all to let go.
If we don't get to this rhino at some point,
I mean, you have to just be really good at not getting lost, right? Like,
yeah, that's the. You need a fucking map, or you need to be going back to. That's
you need to be
secret
making maps of the places you go to, so that you can get there easily again later. Like that needs to be a thing.
How do we mechanically do that?
Oh, you just do it in the fiction.
We just make sure we have.
You say, "I make a map."
Yeah,
But we do have to.
I like the idea of.
We've got the right materials, right?
You need to have something to put the map on and something to write it with.
I like the idea of a mapping move, so that there's a possibility for it leading to interesting fiction later.
Yeah,
because like the 7 to 9 is like it shows the way, but also like whatever, like.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, I'll think about it. But in the meantime, having bumped it up to a 10+, the smell of like the fish and the creatures that lived in the river slowly decomposing and being turned into food for other things. And bones. Yes. Lead Thorn by his mighty and very cool nose towards the place where the river has diverted its course. And I think as you come around, like a large like tangle of like an oak tree with some kind of like that is clearly destroyed whatever building it once like it once grew out of, and now there are just like boards and like stone and like wall stones and things just like hung in this big gnarled oak tree. And you come around it, and you see this vast swathe of like untreed land that smells of river, and you can see the river running along the far side of it, and the whole place is littered with bones and the wreckage and like the long gone wreckage of like metal carriages or automobiles or something. Like it's hard to make out because most of it's rusted away. But I think still standing proudly out of the like muck, there is a pole with a red and gold banner, tattered and ancient, but still blowing gently in the breeze, with a kind of like a pitchfork like above it, with like a tassel hanging off of each tine. And I think what I would like to do is take a slightly early break so that we can come back and explore this in proper. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All right, we'll be back in a minute.
You've piqued my interest.
All right, back soon.